Hi everyone, I'm going to film another Empties video today because although it's not been that long since my last one, I've managed to fill a whole box of products, which you can see is kind of overflowing. So like I did last time, I'm just going to pull them out at random and talk about them. So the first thing I've got is this can of Batiste. I think I've mentioned before that I love Batiste, it's my favourite dry shampoo, and this one is the Bloom scent. The packaging is really nice in this one, it's got kind of floral design, but I still prefer the tropical scent. Speaking of which, I've got the big tropical one, so must have picked this up in offer because I normally just get this size. You can probably see the difference in size there, so you get a bit more product, but I still managed to go through it quite quickly. And here's another one. It's a little mini Batiste in the cherry scent. I obviously just had this in my handbag, so it took me longer to use up because I don't tend to use it throughout the day, but this scent was quite nice as well, but I still prefer tropical. I've used up a Sure deodorant. This is fine, but I prefer the more fruity scented one, like the Dove one, so I'll probably pick that one up next. I've used up a La Roche-Posay Cerazinc. I bought two of these online when they weren't available in Boots, and I'm using the second one just now, and I'm finding that the mist is a lot more fine than this one was, and it's quite nice though. I use it as the hydrating toner step, and it's got zinc in it for oily, blemish prone skin. I'm going to use up the other one, and I probably would repurchase it. I've used up my Holy Grail Effaclar Duo. This is also La Roche-Posay, and I will never be without this because it's just a miracle worker. If ever I'm breaking out, I put this on, and I just know that my skin's going to be so much more calm the next day with less breakouts. So I've already purchased another one. I found another Batiste. I've used up this Method Sweetwater hand wash, which is fine, but as I'd mentioned before, my favourite is the cola bottle or strawberry laces scent, so I just use this because it was in the cupboard, but I will buy that one after. I think I've used up a Colgate toothpaste, the Max White one, and this is one of my favourite ones. I've used up a Cutex Moisture Guard nail polish remover, and this I must have had for a long time because I use the pots now, so I won't repurchase a bottle like this. I'll always just buy the Bourjois pot. I've used up this Sheer Blonde hair mask, which is just a sachet, and it was fine. I don't know if it made much difference because it was only one use, but it was okay. I've used up this Olay Refreshing Face Wash. The reason I got this is because I was buying my eye makeup remover, the Olay one as well, and it was on 3 for 2, and I only had 2 eye makeup removers left, so I just got this to make it the 3 for 2. But I found this was a little bit drying, so I wasn't really a fan of this one. I mentioned this in a Primark haul a couple of months ago. It's the Oil Balancing Peel Off Face Mask, and I did use it once, but it didn't really work that well, and then it kind of has gone everywhere, so it's a bit messy, and I'm just gonna chuck it now. I've used an e.l.f. brush shampoo. It was okay, but I think my favourite thing to clean my brushes is actually the Beauty Blender Solid, so I'll just continue to purchase that instead, even though this is really cheap. This was originally the Simple Face Mist, which was quite nice, but then once I finished that, which was quite quick actually, I filled it up with alcohol so that I could sanitize my makeup. So I've just been using that as a little sanitizing bottle, but now I have another one, so I don't need to keep this. I've used up another toothpaste, which is the Colgate Advanced Sensation White, and it was okay, but I'll probably repurchase the red one instead. You can probably see how much I love this by how tiny it is, because it's actually supposed to be this big, and this is the Olay eye makeup remover that I was talking about. It's my favourite and pretty much only eye makeup remover that I use, and I have loads of backups of it, and will continue to buy it. I've used up my favourite mascara of the moment, which is the Maybelline Lash Sensational. But this one is waterproof, and ironically this smudges like crazy on me and the original one doesn't. So I wasn't keen on the waterproof version, but I love the original and I will repurchase that for sure. This technically I didn't use up, I just finished it, but my mum gave me this Bourjois Brow Natural felt tip eyebrow pen, and I actually really liked this. I thought it was just really nice for a natural brow, really quick to do. So if they still do it, I would pick it up again. I've used up an e.l.f. eyelid primer. This was good. It's just a creamy colour and did quite well stopping my eyeshadow from creasing. Speaking of eyeshadow, I'm just going to get rid of this MUA Undress Me Too palette. You probably have seen me use the original MUA one loads of times, but this one just doesn't really seem to have any pigmentation and the packaging is broken. And so I never reached for it, and because it was quite cheap, I just think I should just get rid of it. Although it's a bit strange because the first one's got such good pigmentation and this one just not so much. Another e.l.f. product I've used up is the High Definition Under Eye Setting Powder. It just comes in a tiny little container like this. And I really like this. I've actually ordered another one, so I'll have an e.l.f. haul coming soon. But the only thing with this is that it had tiny glitter particles in it, which is a bit strange. I suppose it's for brightening purposes, but I've heard that the new one doesn't. So I guess I'll see if the one I've ordered has glitter in it or not. But regardless, I'll still use it every day because it's a really nice under eye setting powder. Another e.l.f. product I'm just going to get rid of now is this e.l.f. Golden Bronzer. So it's just got the 4 squares with different shades of kind of gold. I found I really had to build up the colour to get it a bit more pigmented, which is really unusual because my other e.l.f. bronze and blush duo is amazingly pigmented and just one of my favourite products. But this one just didn't really work out for me, so I'm just going to get rid of that now. I'm just going to bin these Natural Collection lip glosses now because I've had them for way too long and I don't really wear them anymore. But they are really nice because they're not sticky at all, they're just quite glossy. I'm also just going to get rid of this L'Oreal Caress lipstick. It's kind of like a lip balm. This one's kind of my own fault because again I tried to go for the baby pink, bubblegum pink, but it just doesn't suit me, so I need to learn that. And so this one with the formula, because it's so soft, it really showed up all my lines on my lips and everything, and the colour just didn't do much for me. So I might try another one in a different shade, but just this one doesn't suit me. I found another e.l.f. product, which is this e.l.f. Mineral Foundation in the shade Light. Now this would be good if it wasn't really orange, so it's definitely not light and I just can't work. I finished up the Maybelline Brow Drama in Dark Blonde, and this is the one with the really funny looking wand with the ball on top. And I really like this actually. Most days I just wear a brow gel, I don't bother with putting powder or anything through and then a brow gel, unless I'm doing something fancy. So this is really nice just to define my brows and make them a bit darker and a bit more pulled together. So I would pick that up again, but I'm gonna see if I can try a few more and see if there's any more that I like. I've completely finished this hemp lip balm from the Body Shop. I have a habit of peeling off labels, but that's what it is, and this is really nice. It was my favourite one before I discovered the cocoa butter one, but I would definitely recommend this if you've got dry lips. I finished a whole bottle of Trilogy rosehip oil. I thought this was really nice and it's supposed to help reduce scars, stretch marks and wrinkles, and I did notice that some of my scarring on my face did start to reduce with using this, and it was just really nice and moisturising. I'd either use it on its own or maybe drop in a few bits with my moisturiser, just depending on how my skin was feeling, but I definitely really like this one and would repurchase. My first hydrating toner I ever used was this one by the Body Shop, the Vitamin E one, and I actually still use this. I think this is a really nice toner. It's just really gentle and hydrating. I definitely recommend it for beginners if you're just starting out with your kind of exfoliating and hydrating toner steps. This is a really nice one and it's alcohol free. Another Body Shop product is this shower gel, Water Lotus one. I wasn't too keen on the scent of this, so I wouldn't repurchase this particular one, but they are very nice shower gels. I've used up this moisturiser from Skin, which is the anti-blemish hydrator, and this was fine. It did hydrate. It's not my favourite moisturiser, and I don't think I'd repurchase it. I'm getting rid of these 2 liquid eyeliners, the gold and silver one that I picked up from Primark one time because they're completely dried out. I'm getting rid of this 17 blusher. I don't know what it's called exactly, but it's the one where it has a stamp in it and then you basically put it in the blusher in here and stamp on your cheeks. I got rid of the stamp part a little while ago, but it's a really pretty colour. It's like a shimmery pink and it's got a mirror on the bottom as well. So it's a good idea in theory, but I found that I still had to obviously blend out the stamps on my cheeks, otherwise I looked like a doll. I used up this sachet of the Garnier BB cream. This is definitely not light, it's way too dark for me, but if I mix it in with, you know, a white foundation, I can make it work. I'm getting rid of this Tresemme Argan Oil, which I've had for way too many years and I just don't use, because it really weighs down my hair because it's quite fine. So I just didn't use it, and it looks like it's kind of separated a bit, so just time to chuck it. I finally used up these Nailene Ultra Adhesive tabs, which are great because they're just sticky tabs which don't damage your natural nail. And although I don't usually wear false nails, I've obviously used them up over the years, so that's done now, but I definitely recommend these. I'm getting rid of a couple nail polishes, this 17 one in a kind of burgundy shade, and then this Sally Hansen Nearly Nude one, which is for French manicure. Both really old, both quite gloopy now. I've used up this sample I got from Elemis when I went to a spa. It's called Quiet Mind Temple Balm, and I love things like this because if I think it's going to make me relax, then it'll just make me relax. So it was quite nice just to put on before I went to sleep, and because it's just a wee sample, I went through it quite quickly. I got this Beauty Blender dupe when I ordered some things recently, and it's white, so it's completely ruined, and the stains will not come out no matter if I even use it with the Beauty Blender solid cleanser. And so I'm just going to get rid of it because it doesn't look nice. I've got the original Beauty Blender, so I don't need this one as well. I'm getting rid of a couple of brushes. This one just came with a makeup Christmas set, so it's just not very soft and not very good, so don't need that. And then this one I think is actually my first ever makeup brush, because my mum bought me this so many years ago, and it's just a kabuki. It says manicure on it, and this has done me really well throughout the years, but I've got kind of softer, better kabuki brushes now, so it's time to let this one go. Last couple of things, I've used up these cotton wool pads from Boots, which are the 2 different texture ones. I'm not fussed with cotton pads, like I'll just pick them up from Primark. I don't really mind about having the texture side and not, so I just got these obviously at the time because I needed them, but I usually get them from Primark. I've also used up the blending sponges and triangles and things I got last Christmas. I don't use them very much, so it took me a while, but if I wanted to try any of the baking or anything like that, they're quite handy for that. And then finally, I have used up these tiny little makeup products, both for the eye and both Rimmel, I think actually. One of them is the Rimmel Black Eyeliner, which is really good and I would repurchase because it's nice and creamy. And the other one is the Rimmel Scandalize in the kind of gold shade. You can see how tiny that is. This is the one I had in my travel makeup bag, so I'd use it, not that I travel a lot, but I use that kind of solely when I did travel. So it went down quite quickly, and I would probably repurchase that as well because I like the Scandalize formula and I've got a couple more colours. So that's the popcorn box now empty. I hope this video wasn't too long. I hope you've enjoyed this Empties video, and I will see you next time. Bye!